There we go. We're in. Okay. Okay. Just need to make sure everything. Okay. Recording and streaming. Okay. So, I do understand that college cooking is a very strange and dumb thing, as we are living on a very harsh budget. So, this you can kind of, and I say kind of, make from scratch. First and foremost, you need this corned beef hash. Essentially, by the way, what I am making with this, I am turning this into a burger. Because this by itself is way too soggy. It's way too soggy, it has no shape. It will just feel like you're squishing cold, wet stuff. So, what you need is breadcrumbs. I've made my own in a Tupperware, you can see there. This is a pain, by the way. Just buy Italian breadcrumbs. But if you don't have access to those, or you can't buy them, just get like an extra loaf of bread, buy one, get one free, and cut it up, tear it up, toss it in the oven for however long, and wait until it's all burnt. Kind of burnt. By the way, you can do this with like minimal cooking skill. It's not that bad because the meat in this is pre-cooked. We are just giving it a very slight chop. Make sure it stays. I forgot a lid. I forgot a lid. I have a lid. So, the reason this is important is because when you use cheese and you're just pan making burgers, the cheese will not melt unless heat comes back down. Heat needs to come back down. And this doesn't even properly fit. So, by the way, a bowl works, but we need this for mixing. But you can use a plate as long as it is ceramic. If it is not ceramic, then don't do it. You're gonna die. Like you're going to actually poison yourself. So, list of ingredients that I have with me in this immediate moment: cheddar cheese, American cheese. Ah, that was loud. American cheese because it's creamy and it works as a good adhesive. Eggs, eggs because I'm making a breakfast burger version of this because the hash. My three spices of choice: onion powder, garlic powder, shredded parmesan, and I don't have my pepper, but I do have my salt. Make this with pepper, just for your own sake. Don't be that white. So to get this started, get this out the can. Get this, get your spoon in there. This is the only thing you're using it for. Just get it all under. Now, the amount of breadcrumbs you need for this can vary. It really is dependent. And I'll be honest, I actually haven't mastered this recipe just yet. This is still something that's kind of in the making. Give it a little poke. Make sure it's all separated and not just one big clump. And then this can go in the sink, and this goes in the trash. Now, this is where we start getting a little semi-interesting. You're going to want to add an egg right now rather than later. So, the reason you add an egg now rather than later is because of a couple reasons. Not a couple reasons, one reason, like this one egg. The meat doesn't hold its shape, like I said prior. So I learned this trick when making meatloaf with my mom. The egg will make it hold shape. It's a good adhesive. The yolk and the white disperse throughout the whole thing. As you feel on your fingers when cracking an egg, egg yolk and egg white are sticky. So, you want to incorporate the egg. Just to give you a good idea of what we're working with, you can't see the egg because it's a liquid. Just give it, and if it gets on the walls of the bowl, you can just scrape it down because wooden spatula. A nice tuck and fold method works best until it looks inedible. And shout out to people who bake and use that as a metric for when their wet ingredients like butter and egg are properly incorporated. So, it looks inedible. There you go. Now, breadcrumbs absorb the moisture. Those also give it its shape. Now, like I said, I have mine pre-made here, but no measurement. So, sorry, I just found an extra crouton in here that didn't get cracked. Okay, buddy. Okay, fucker. Anyway, yeah. If you can, try and block. Like, this is a difficult part for me personally. Because I didn't make the breadcrumbs properly, I'll admit that, first and foremost. I didn't make these properly. It's mostly crouton. Some of the stuff, a little too large. It can't be too large, it's breadcrumbs. I didn't have a big Ziploc bag to just plop all these in and start punching it like I did last time. And last time when I did that, I used way too many. It ended up kind of dry. Cheese was meant to save that at the time, just didn't work out. So, once you have your stuff properly sorted in, like, within the heat death of the universe, it's all coming. Alright, so that's there, that's settled. You want to start slowly pouring this in, like this with the corner. Every time you get a bit in there, you're going to want to give it a stir. Try to fully incorporate it before you move on to the next batch. And if you think, like, if the moment you stop feeling crunch, no matter where you jab into it, is the moment that I think you're ready for your next set. You want these to not be super soggy. They should still be pink, as the meat is supposed to be. But it needs to be dry enough to use your hands on, which, yes, saying that right now, you're going to need to use your actual real-life person hands for this. Because you can, I'm sure there's, like, kitchen appliances out there, like, whoa, you can just scoop this out and you get a perfectly shaped patty. No, that's dumb and stupid, and everyone has different proportions. Or portion preferences, I should say. I got a little egg on my hand somehow. But no, it's just a little bit of grease from the toast. Not just yet. Not just yet. And I will say, some of these things you're gonna have to play through by ear. And that's okay. That's okay. I haven't mastered this recipe. And it's okay if you fail a little bit. Because that's just the nature of cooking. You're at college, you're gonna be here for a while, so it's good to just get some practice in on cooking. Because throughout it, it will make your life easier. I come to this common room somewhat often, and I've heard a few stories of people getting insanely annoyed by how they've just been making spaghetti over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, once you think is okay, and this is the part that I personally don't like either, get your hand in there. If it feels way too wet, then put in some more breadcrumbs. I'm gonna rinse my hand off. That's nasty. Nasty is gross. I hate super wet meats. Huh. Anyone who's made meatloaf will be familiar with how the consistency is supposed to feel, but those people also make it by hand. I'm using a wooden spoon, so it's a different ballgame. It's getting tough, like natural ground beef. Yeah, this is starting to feel right. Yeah. So, a plate next to the stove here. Like I said, this is the part that I don't like. And the meat always goes first before anything else, before I start toasting the bun, which, yes, I'm going to be hand toasting the buns. I hate it, actually. Last time I did it, I burned my hand. It's so This is not patty material. This really isn't. It's not patty material. It's not. It needs more breadcrumbs. God, this is nasty. Yeah, I thought this would be a quick 1-2 buckaroo. But no, it's probably going to take me a lot longer, because I always underestimate these things. Just like a heaping more of breadcrumbs. What am I stepping on? Nothing. Get your aggression in there, you know? You're a college student. Be angry at how much the system's robbing you. Be angry that some parts of this place will treat you like a child despite being in your 20s. That's a good way to do it. So, if you are not sure of your consistency and you don't want to touch it, give it a little poke. If it jiggles, me personally, I think that's a bad sign. I like my women like I like my corned beef. firm, hefty. Don't quote me on that. I don't know you. I said you want corned beef. You want meatloaf consistency, which currently we're not getting, and the meat has turned brown. Problemo. What can I do to fix this? Really, to fix like this sort of situation at any time, it is always okay to just plop it all in there and then just cook it like normal and then scoop it out and put it. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that instead. This might come out a little bit dry, but that's okay. We'll just mark this up as a failed attempt and use a little extra cheese. I am going to thoroughly clean this bowl when I'm done with it. By the way, yes, preheat your stove. Always a good thing to do. There. I rinse my hand off once again, because this ink is icky and gross. I imagine you guys know how to sift. You can make hamburger help, but you can do this step. So I can't show you from there, but if you can do this and make it that flat, then that's not a good thing for the consistency. And I'm not sure how to fix that, actually. I think I messed up doing this recipe specifically. So, really, what you want to go for is... How do I explain this? It's firm. It's a lot more firm and a lot more dry in its base state. As a ground meat, it's a bit better. This is something you're meant to just sift around in the pan, because usually this stuff you make with an egg. But we're not, we're doing that, but like, different. As shown before, that fold over cut method works very well for sifting this stuff out. You want to get a nice char. Always, 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 when you cook something in a pan or a grill, you want char. Because char gives a very nice crunch with a soft center. It gives it substance, a little bit more layers to what you eat. Even meatloaf. Unless you have like a sauce on top, that's a different story, different ballgame. Put my hand too close to the stove. That's another thing. Don't burn yourself. Don't be like me. Or be like me, I'm not your dad. And I will say, as I'm cooking this, I'm gonna say this right now. I am making this for an assignment. I enjoy doing this, but it is still for an assignment. Honestly, cooking's a good thing to get me out of my dorm. Because, like, if you're in a dorm, you'll know, it's horrible keeping yourself cooped up, especially if you're in a shared room with someone like I am. So, you just kind of have to work with it for a while until you get the chance to cook for yourself, like this. So, when you've sifted it around enough, and you think things are going well, you want to start flipping it every now and then. Just get a big chunk, give it a nice flip. You see char, you're getting somewhere. And then once you see one spot with char, start flipping other places of it as well to get that char across the board. you want this char to be sort of uniform. So getting it on the top layer, kind of a big priority. And I want to say this now, everyone cooks differently. I am not, excuse me, perfect. I am saying these things for people who don't know how to cook. Or just don't want. Is the stove off? The stove's off. That's swell. The timer ran out. So hard to type things. There we go. We're back. What can I say from here? You want the, so if you're doing like the scramble method like I'm doing now and you're not shaping it into patties, I got an idea. So little thing that you can do is toss it in the pan and do the scramble method for a bit and then toss it back into the mixing bowl to dry out all the grease and wet from it. But if you're doing the scramble method, it's gonna take a bit longer. Because funny thing about corned beef, it's pre-cooked meat. So when you're using pre-cooked meat, so realistically you could just season it and eat it right out of the can. But I trust you're not a little critter living out in the woods. I trust that you're not a barbaric beast. It wasn't my butt, that was my leg. I promise I'm clean enough to cook. So, the reason I'm doing the meat first and not the egg is for two reasons. One, the egg cooks much quicker, and in the same breath, it also cools much quicker. Secondly, we're going to be cooking the egg in the grease from this. I know some of you say, ew, that's disgusting. It's a uniform taste. Let me cook. Literally, let me cook. And like it will get like a little messy sometimes. That's just cooking. Just clean up after yourself. I promise I will. I will not just. I will try and practice what I teach. Practice what I preach. Another idea. We could slap the cheese on right now that it's all cooked. That way it starts to melt now rather than later. You know what? Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll show you how different this can be. Because you know how burgers go. Meat, cheese, whatever. Wait, can't forget these. Cannot forget these. Cannot. Horrible job. Aw. I want to try to drown out the taste of the breadcrumbs a little bit. And remember, the Parmesan's going to be hard to get out of there. Onion powder is not. Get it all layered on top. Then we're going to do that fold method again. It's going to smelt the room a little bit, depending on how you feel about onion and garlic, and especially if you're allergic to it, so don't use it. Once again, I trust you to make decent decisions. Cooking is messy. It's hot, very much uncomfortable because I've been on my feet for like 2 hours, getting my breadcrumbs ready, getting this ready. It's been a pain, but it's okay. Because I'm going to eat something with this. It is going to be fucking delightful. So, once you have your stuff seasoned, it's all coming through. Then you're going to flatten it out. You're going to want to get cheese. I have an idea. And I love how I'm discovering this as I'm cooking it. Fuck, where am I going to put the cheese after I open it? Fate will burn that direction when we come to it. It's cheesing time. Oh, they're individually wrapped. I forgot about that. Oh god, okay, so, take it off the heat, because this might take a sec. So I can't figure out how to open these ever. There you are. So, I believe we're going to need 4 slices of each type of cheese. So place that to the side. Get your 4 slices pre-ready. One thing that I like about cooking is having everything that I need immediately ready for the moment that I need it. Like if I need, for this example, if I need my cheese, I would usually prefer to have it right next to me, unwrapped prematurely before I even start cooking. That's just me. Alright. As it cools down, you're going to hear the steam and the sizzle start to calm down as well. So the reason I specifically said breakfast burger, by the way, is because on top of everything that we're doing here, we are also going to be putting an egg on it. And usually if you do this, I'd recommend getting multiple plates, but I only brought 1 big plate, and I don't want to run back to my room again. So, 1, 2, if it'll let me have it back. Also make sure it's not actually touching the pan, because then it's going to stick to your pan, and that's really annoying to get off. 3, and 4. Now we're going to do the same with the cheddar cheese. Please do not be individually wrapped. I love doing that. Okay. I am the strongest man. Oh, fuck. Not individually wrapped, but they're also not separated. Alright. I have 5 slices. I'm gonna place that on top of this. A funny thing about American cheese is it doesn't fully melt. That's okay. That's fine. It is okay. I'm actually gonna put the cheddar at 1.5 slices. Last minute change, but there's a lot of cheese in this pan. Place that back in there, zip it up, and then we're going to keep doing our fold method once again, make sure everything is incorporated. And from here, we're going to put it back on the heat, put your spatula down, grab your lid. Because this doesn't fit, I need to hold it over it so that the steam, goes back down. It doesn't just like fuse to the bottom of this. When you see a cheddar start to get curves, you know you're on the right track, and that it's happening quickly. Oh, frick. Tore some of the skin on my finger while making my breadcrumbs. Like I said, I didn't have a big bag to just punch it, so I was like pressing it against my fingers. Alright, once you think it's somewhat melted, you can start doing this. And it's going to be really thick. Ugh, some of y'all won't need to get arm workouts at the gym. This is your arm day. So, okay, the American cheese is what melts it thoroughly and completely. Cheddar cheese, taking its sweet 50 time. Okay, so I believe we've officially done the scramble method. Scramble method, you're just continuously folding it over and over upon itself until every single ingredient that you have is properly incorporated. Now, where I'm going to put this is a very good question. Because I need to empty up the pan so I can start getting work on the buns. By the way, one more thing, if you're ever making like a really greasy medium meal like this, go with a soda or a mug. Because a good drink can make or break a meal. I once had a Spam with mac and cheese, and then I had watermelon Arizona with it, and that just felt sad. Like, that just was a very sad day. We're breaking the bread, brothers and sisters. Getting a tear on these is actually really annoying, because it never wants to tear evenly, and you really want the bottom of it to get like an even char. So in that case, bend it back as far as you can, and just keep bending it back. So, well, then the little straggler, just free straggler. I've seen some just like take it like with like a tortilla and just scoop it out. No, not like that. Although what he made, the video I'm talking about, was very good. It looked very, very good. So no flack to him. I don't even remember his name. There's so much cheese. But that's okay. until we get a stomachache. Right, that's on a plate. Let's save it for later. We can start working on our bones. Now, pan toasting is about as annoying as you can think. Because you just kind of give it a gentle press. Ready? 5 minutes on it. You can probably grip. Wow, not ready. Put it back in. I have 2 bottom buttons in my hands right now. Top ones are easy. Bottom ones are. See that? I can go in for a bit more. Lightly toasted, which is nice. A bit of a crunch to it. Like I said, gives it a bit of substance. This is very thick, a little bit creamy. Cheese warm. Or just add however much cheese you want. See, that's a bit better. That on the side of the plate for later. I hope you guys are doing good today. Genuinely, I hope you're doing good. Because, like, college is annoying. It's where they really. But, yeah, I hope you're doing good. And I hope you have a good. That's annoying. Only the outer edges of this are what to do. I can feel the little char in the center. I can feel it. It's a gentle circle. Right. Which one's doing? Now for my personal favorite part. So, fun fact of the day for you. The woman in the world who lived the longest, I believe she lived, I can't remember how long the number was, but one of the longest living women in the world said her secret to living long was 2 eggs a day. I don't know if they were all cooked, steamed, broiled, doesn't matter. What matters is the egg. So I have made it my mission to try to incorporate eggs in my meals more. So, personally, I prefer my eggs over. And of course, I'm not great at making eggs. I'm actually pretty horrible at it. Specifically, I'm horrible at making. So really, the best way is scrambled. Well, that's kind of funny. Out of the egg. I don't know if you can see it. It got like brown, but it's still squishy. Probably because of what has been in the pan. Yeah, this egg looks a little messed up. Get a separate pan for the eggs. Like I said, I have not perfected this recipe. I made this a total of months prior. How long since stream ago? Well, my recording stopped, so that's awesome. Well, we'll figure it out later. Holy shit. That's like. Alright. Alright, we got it. Let's see how it turned out. It's actually so fucking good. It's really fucking good. That's that's genuinely my best yet. I feel like I gotta turn off the stream now, and that's so good. Only improvements that I could have made. More char on the bun. Breadcrumbs are fine. Italian breadcrumbs are great. Pepper would have been nice. Oh my lord. That's so good. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go figure out how to get this uploaded before I stop. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to do this before, I cry a lot. Well, it would seem I am out of storage space, so the recording will be cut off. That's very annoying. Very, very annoying. Can I delete something quick? No. No, I cannot. Hmm. Unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate. Alright, well, thank you for, for listening and watching. And I hope that you use it as well. Oh, you will not be able to